All right. Hello, 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 everyone. All right. The stream says we have excellent connection. That's good to know. Um, in the studio, we are about to paint the house. Now you'll see right here that I have things inside this dollhouse that we're renovating. I spent today doing a couple different live broadcasts already. In fact, I may have done three. I did three today already. And basically, we are ready to paint. I have been not necessarily putting it off, but I just wanted to have enough time to do it because it's, let me put this down. I don't need those on for this broadcast. Um, It is it's something I have to do all at one time. So I didn't want to start it and have to stop and start it and have to stop. So it's time. It's time to get to painting this little tiny dollhouse renovation project. So I'm gonna flip this camera here up. You guys can see a little bit of a peek of what I've been doing today. Um, I have set up some of the products that are going to be inside of this. If you are just tuning in and want to know more about the renovation, um, this is actually going to be part of my tiny store. We do pop up markets locally, and this is actually going to be something I've been wanting to make for a long time, and it's going to be our tiny door store. Um, so it's going to have all kinds of things. I've said so like 5 times now, but the idea is so people can see what it is, where it would look like if you are into doll houses. If you're not, and you just like tiny things, and you want to just hold on, just here say something here. So I don't know what it's saying, but we will move this to the other screen to see what's going on. Anyway, if you just like tiny things and you like to have something tiny on your desk, a lot of people that I know do use this on their desk. Uh, do they have their tiny doors on their desk? I know that one of my friends, she's a nurse, and she has her tiny door at her office. It's right at the front desk, so everybody sees it, which is so great. I love to hear stories of where you have your tiny door. And we have been doing tiny doors locally for over 10 years. And it's pretty exciting because we've had thousands, not hundreds, but thousands of tiny doors made here locally with us with different projects that we've been doing. Whether it's starting out when we were starting out in Northwood, and now we are in downtown West Palm Beach and in Northwood, um, or maybe it's in Lake Worth, um, or maybe in Boynton Beach. I'm just thinking of all the places we've done tiny doors. Pensacola, we've done some tiny door classes up there. Um, we have done tiny door workshops at the library. We've done them everywhere in parks, in public spaces, and in private homes and private parties. So thousands of tiny doors have been made over the past 10 years plus. So this will be no different. This year we we have our big event starts tomorrow, so we will have lots of tiny doors made tomorrow. Uh, so this is the new store. Pretty excited about it. but tonight we're going to paint it. This is our original tiny door sign, which is, where is it? You'll see this in our logo, and basically this is rubber stamps that are missing quite a bit now. So it doesn't stamp anymore, but I still have it here on my desk because it's extra special to me. So um, we have that. I'm going to re-adhere these together because it's trying to come apart. But it's been together for like over 10 years. So we have tiny wreaths. I've shown some of these. I don't have a lot of those made right now. Sold a lot of those. At the tiny store, we will have tweezers for people to be able to pick out a tiny book. I do have everything in all the display stations that they're going to be in. I do need, well, I guess I can do that when I set up tomorrow, but I'm going to take a picture of them. We have some tiny foods laid out here on their display rack. Said I want to take pictures so then I know what I had where. So we have those on there. I always send stuff to myself. so uh, so I don't forget something, or if I see something really cool and I want to make something or share it with somebody later. We're using these acrylic display stands. So it's very trendy, very cute, very fun. So we have fancy acrylic, what I'm calling the acrylic tables. They are not for sale, they're display only. So they're going to have the foods on there. So a fun fact, where is the camera on this tonight? This lemon cake, I actually made this one. This one's in polymer clay. I made it a few years back. And I'm going to try to wipe it off a little bit. It looks like it's got a little dirty, but it's a dirty cake. So, but yeah, I have the acrylic tables set up with food on them in case some people want to buy some food. So we're going to do that. I was going to put them in a box to go. Maybe this has just a few things in it. Over here. So all the foods are going to go in here. In fact, I could probably maybe just place them in like this. You guys can't even see that. So I place the tables inside of here. Maybe everything fits like that? No, of course not. Could it be that easy? That's not gonna work. I may have to get pushed over and put these down. I mean, it won't take but a minute to put them together. I'll leave the cake out. Probably start at the bottom. And then this should lay on top. And should be able to close this lid. Should be. You would think it would be that easy, but no, it's not really that easy. We will put them upside down like this. I'll have to redo everything tomorrow, which is fine. No big deal. And they will all fit and then some. So, there's our tiny food. I do already have packaged, I have some tiny money. I'm not sure what I'm doing with that yet. I'm just gonna put that over there. This little tiny telephone. It's not for sale. It's my personal phone. Really funny. I'm gonna put that over there. These tiny books that we will have available. This is a box of tiny artwork that will be done in a gallery wall style. On the wall, I have the tiny frames and mirrors. I painted these two today, so that got done today. This is the tiny bar. Look how much fun the colors are. Aren't these great? It's not all drinking things as far as beverages. There's actually a little bottle of Chanel No. 5 in which I find really funny. And I think this is a perfume bottle, and this green one's a perfume bottle. I'm not really sure. But look at this. They don't fall off because I stuck them all down with sticky tack, which will save me setup tomorrow. This is a tiny painting that's going to be in there. We have the tiny decorating houses that people can paint. I'm gonna maybe paint one of these tonight. Maybe I'll paint one, little one. We have the. Let me see if I can do it. Oh, I did it. These are the tiny bookcases that I designed, and these I put together. So we will have some of these already put together. So those are going to be in there. Tiny doors, of course. I have more. This is just some of the ones that are going to go in there, with the exception of this one is not going in there. This one is my all-time favorite. So it's all hand painted by me. So that one's actually not going to be for sale. I've been using it for display. And then I pulled out, and I had forgotten about my tiny bookcase that I've had that usually has my little collectible things on it. But I decided now that it's going to be a display cabinet for tiny items for sale. Look how cute is that, right? I'm so excited about this little bookcase. I've got everything is stuck down except for the books. So when I pack this up, I'm going to lay it flat just like that. So it will be flat. This is the plan to transport. And then this will go on top. So on top of everything, I have to transport this and try to keep it intact. So I don't have as much work to do when I get there as far as setup. So I have a lot to set up tomorrow. All right, it's nice and empty. We are going to. I'm going to take a picture of this so we know what that looks like. The pictures are also going to serve as my inventory, so I will know what I had in the display for the day, for the night. And so we'll be able to track that. It's like video surveillance. So yeah, this is what I'm doing tonight. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream. Now, I'm going to be painting, so it's not going to be super exciting. I have decided not to paint the floors. I plan to do something different with the flooring in the little tiny tiny shop and gallery. It's gonna be a patisserie and boulangerie. So we have the food and stuff over here. So Anyway, so there's going to be other stuff happening to it, but tonight it's painting night. I did manage to push my desk out farther too, so I have way more space back here. I'm looking for my paint. That's the wrong paint. Hello. What did I do with the paint? Oh, and we'll have tiny plants. We've been doing tiny plants for many years. Oh, they're back there. Of course they are. So I'm going to move this stuff out of the way so I don't knock it over. Move it over here. I'm going to put it. If you haven't seen this before, this box here is my tiny bookcase lumberyard. All the bits and pieces are here to make tiny bookcases. And they are in a very cool custom box that I designed, and I had my 3D designer help me out with it. And we have a cool box. I should have them 3D. Well, I'll design it out. I usually draw it all out, but as far as designing it in Tinkercad or other programs, sometimes I don't want to use my brain power for all that. I can do it, but do I want to do all that? You know, I have somebody on my team that does that stuff, so he helps me out when I need it. All right, let's go to painting. I do not know if any people are even on here watching, but this is today. Today is episode 13, 13th day of January, and this is part 2 of the tiny dollhouse renovation. So, you think I'd be prepared. Never. No, I can't say that. I am prepared sometimes. Okay. I got the paper plates. It's back here. Sorry. I'm reaching forward. Plates I'm using. We revealed those yesterday. That these are our colors. So I'm very excited. We are going to start with to the top, to the bottom. So maybe what I'll do first is I'll paint the ceiling. I am not taking this thing apart to paint it. Can I paint it without painter's tape? That's a good question. We will find out. I am painting with acrylic paint. Yesterday we did some prep work and sanded everything. I have some little glass containers. So one thing I like to do, I highly suggest, just makes life a little easier. Place your bottles paint upside down in little glass containers. Just these are like votive holders, and this is a yogurt Be sure to give them a good shake and put them upside down. It's going to make your life a lot easier trying to get paint out. All right, to put this paint on the ceilings of these, and I'm doing a white because I think that it's just going to be a lot easier for light to glow in there a little bit more. So I'm going to turn the house upside down. It's so funny. It reminds me of a place in Orlando. I forget what it's called. The building looks like it's upside down. It's Ripley, believe it or not. Is that still open? I don't even know. I should know because we do go to Orlando often. But I don't know. The debate was, am I going to use this big 3-inch brush or am I going to use a 1-inch brush? I do have a 1.5-inch chip brush, but chip brushes, they're so annoying sometimes because they will just fall apart. But I always say, be sure to pick the right size brush. And I think I will use the 1.5 and the 1-inch because I'm going to get into these edges with the 1-inch and we'll feather everything in with the 1.5 inch. So let's go ahead and do some trimming in with just like, when you're painting your house, you do all the trim stuff first. So just gonna start painting. See? And it's you might have to take 2 coats. That's not good. I thought that might be a problem. Yeah, it's definitely gonna need 2 coats. Unless I'm gonna go for this whitewash look. I'm gonna try not to get it on the outside edge. Plan to do some other things with this later on. You know what? Maybe I will not use the 1.5. No turning back now. Well, I mean, I guess I could. Yeah, it's gonna need a couple coats. Might be because the opacity of white is always difficult for coverage. And going to just make sure front edge is not got paint on it. And when I do the actual wall colors, I will use a different kind of brush to get into these tight corners. I saw a lot of people doing the renovations on these little houses. Been looking at that ever since I got this house. I mean, I've been watching dollhouse creation for a while. It's the tiny door world, but specifically the past few days watching on all different platforms what people have been doing with these dollhouses. They're pretty amazing. And yes, would I like to have that? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I will do that. Um, we have some new furniture designs that are going to be coming out. In the addition of the bookcase, we are designing several other things currently that will be laser cut and will be sold as actual items for sale and also as kits. I love to sell the creation sets kits because it gives people the opportunity to make their own and make it their own. And it's a fun project for young kids to learn about building and measuring and doing math. That was kind of funny. Last semester we were building book nooks, and we had some really cute book nooks built. But I had in another class we had some diorama work, which I always like to have a big end project at the end of every semester where they're utilizing the skills that they learned throughout the whole class. It's kind of like a semester exam for art, but my style of semester exam. So they have to build these dioramas. And this one little kid said, you mean I have to do math? This is art class. We don't need to do math. So I thought that was really funny. I was like, sometimes you have to use math when you're doing your art. So, needless to say, they were not happy they had to do math to measure, and then they had to take away so much and figure out how much it was. I mean, it wasn't too difficult because their age is 5 to 11 years old in that class, so very elementary level math. All right, so we're gonna first coat on the ceiling tiny door section. And we're just gonna flip it on. It's the other edge of the roof. I just realized that the chimney was on this side and it feels very strange and like it's defying gravity. But maybe it is. So we're gonna need more paint, but we'll go ahead and put this down. Going to the edge and pulling it over. Got a little on the wall. Why did I bring wipes? Let me get wipes. Hold on. Well, I have the other wipes, but I'm going to use the art wipes. I call them art wipes, but most people call them baby wipes. So, baby wipes are your best friend when doing art projects, and you mess up real quick. You can actually just tear a little tiny piece off and just wipe it off. And through. Ta-da! Down the surface. I'm going to take you guys this camera down into the tabletop. Because it must be boring all the way up there. Watching the back of my head every once in a while. So, just to get in here, touch the edge, and pull it over. Maybe what might come more exciting now. I'm using my finger to clear out the edges. Just want to make sure the side front edge of the house is not going to have paint on it. Well, that's for a different day. And I have to go over this at least twice. Just going to take up way more time. But the good thing is that it's acrylic paint and it will dry pretty quick. If you go to your edge and you pull it towards the middle in both directions and overlap it, and then lift it up in the middle really lightly, you will not get paint stops. That's what I call them. We don't want paint stops. Okay. This is going to take all night. I am going to bed at a relatively decent hour tonight. But I will be on here for a little while. Or maybe I do the finished product off camera. And then you guys be surprised. So, even after this has been upside down, this is really thick paint. This little ball. Just wipe again. Get to the edge and just wipe off. It's like when you're painting your wall and you get a drip. You have to have that rag beside you to clean it up. That's exactly what a wipe does. Alright. Try to get in here a little closer. The back wall. And I'm not worried that this white paint is going to get on the back wall. Back walls will be painted, but the white paint's fine. Put it on. Like I can say, just go in there to the edge, give it a little push, and pull. Push it and pull it. I wish I could cue music so you guys would have something in the background to listen to. It's very quiet in here. Sort of. I hear Freddie upstairs watching a movie. I asked him if he was coming down tonight to the studio, and he says no. He was down here earlier. He has some new, oops, touched the wall. Some new products he's testing out. He got part of the order the other day. He gets the other part of the order on Saturday. So, testing out some mold making products. Edge of the wall. So much better when you make sound effects. Alright. Where the ceiling's done. The difficult part is going to be on this side because it's a little wonky. I might do just sit down so I can get in there. I don't want to turn my head too much. I might get dizzy. I'm going to just dab the paint in a straight line first. Just see that. I'm going to push it towards the wall. It touches the very edge. I'm not too concerned. Should have used some blue tape on here or some green tape. Maybe. But that takes a lot of time to tape everything up. I have to tape an entire house. It's kind of funny to say. I had to tape an entire house for this project. I mean, normally, if you're painting your own house, you would definitely use some tape. That is another way of doing the edge. I'm not gonna be too careful at the edge because I'm gonna just wipe it with a wipe. But if you take it from the outside and pull it towards the edge here, and then lift, that can sometimes help you out. And then take it on it. Oh, I'm gonna have to turn this a little bit. Cannot see this side. It's all wobbly right now because the chimney on the roof, which we're painting the ceiling, so the roof's on the table, the chimney sticks out, so it's just the way it is. It's gonna be a little wonky for a minute. Or 5. Hey! Thanks for tuning in, extra beauty. And all the love. Thanks. I am painting the ceiling white currently. If you are just tuning in, you're here live with Nickie with Tiny Doors WPB. It's art o'clock. Every day I go live here on YouTube. So it's kind of probably difficult to see right now what I am doing, but I got to get in this corner, so bear with me, please. It's going to be a little difficult for me to show you guys this part, this angle. It will be more exciting when I paint walls. Just move this paint around. And you don't want to have these hard paint breaks. It's a little difficult to do this. I'm happy I'm using a brush that's shorter. Should be trying to get some cell phone content as well, but I'll just take some content from this video later. It's one of the crazy things about filming and broadcasting. You just gotta make your videos. You have to edit videos. That's why I've decided that live is way better. And if I get mess ups, then it is what it is. I am a human. Even though some people used to think I was a robot, that's one of the things I do. They might still think that. I'm not a robot. I'm real. Believe it or not, I am not as busy as I used to be. As far as my regular jobs. When I used to have to work a regular, what people tell me I used to work a regular job. And I hate to say it, but being an artist is also a regular job. I just am responsible for my whole business. So if anything, I'm doing more. But I did used to love my old job. And that's okay. I have so much more fun doing this. And I still do stuff with the company that I used to work for. Last summer I did a whole art project and they were involved in making that happen. So that was kind of fun. All right. Just go across the phones. Trying to do that while it's still damp and wet. I'm gonna let that dry. And we're gonna go to the next thing. I just realized that I didn't bring a regular, like, yeah, I do. I have water. This is not paint water. I have been known to take my paintbrush and stick it in my drink. But, yeah, it's kind of funny. Alright, the ceiling has been painted on the top floor. I still have the bottom floor ceiling to paint, so I guess I will do that next. Tap this glue. I'll do the same thing with glue. The paint down in your bottles. I have to go to the wall of paint, and go get some more paint. Because that took me to 2 loads of paint. Look at all this love for me squirting paint. Thanks. I love the love. So, I hope you've had a good day there, extra booty. Alright, so we're gonna do, we'll do this side first. Just make sure there's no debris on there. Yep, move the chair out of the way. It's so nice because I opened up like so much space back here. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea to make it very cramped back here, but it's not anymore. Alright. You guys can't see it. Let's go to the next level, which is actually the floor. The level first floor. If you're in Europe, the first floor is the second floor. Here, we call the first floor the ground floor is the first floor. And the second floor is upstairs. But technically, I have a very unique house, and I am underground in Florida. I actually have a very cool, very rare, and unique Florida basement. So, I'm actually underground right now. So, I'm underground, but our house entry level is not ground floor. Does that make sense? You do have to go upstairs to get in our front door. And our garage is technically on ground level. Very cool house. So you have to walk upstairs to get in the house. And you have to walk downstairs to get to the basement. Which I guess that's actually most people do. Probably gonna have to take the downstairs to get to the basement. So I guess technically our house is 3 levels. But the garage is on its own level, so it's a little bit different. It's not like I have to clean three stories of house. Just not good. Trying to utilize this paint as much as possible. Going in to do the edge, I'm going to tap it and pull it. And then all the way to the front edge. And from the inside out. It does help get a little bit cleaner line. Is it perfect? No. That's why I have some wipes. So if I do that, I'll just clean it up with a wipe. So you're still with me, actually. Do you recall the little house I made you when you were little? I made her a little puppet theater multi-purpose house out of an old TV. Very cute. She could go in and pretend she was on TV. And the outside had a painting of her as a fairy. And on one side and the other side was a felt doll play area. So it had felt I glued onto the TV, and I made her little felt dolls, and they had clothes, and just like she could make her own stories up. I might have just enough for this full one coat. So yeah. So if you were watching, did you have a dollhouse when you were growing up? If you did, what kind of dollhouse did you have? I had of course, the Barbie dream house. As did I think nearly everybody that I knew. We all had the same house. I used to have this toy. It was like a tree house. And it was a lot of fun to play with. I think it came with Weeble Wobbles. And that's gonna age me there. Now you're gonna know, oh my gosh, she's old. But I think they have Weeble Wobbles still. Something in my paint. That's all. Yeah, we had the Barbie Dream House growing up. Share it with my sisters. We would play with that for a long time. I wish I still had it. Alright. Ceiling of that room done. And like I said, it's gonna need another coat of paint. I'm not too excited about that. Take more time to paint. If you ever notice, I have this measuring tape I've glued onto my desk. And it's finally trying to come apart. I'm off my desk and it's really annoying. But I really want it. I actually use it quite often to measure stuff. Not just for fabric, but I measure products when I'm entering them in the computer for sizes. Clean up that edge. Okay. Alright, let's go to the ceiling in this room. I might have just enough paint out. This is going to be really difficult to show. Because, I mean, you guys can see it over here. Trying to get in there. It's not the easiest. So I will try my best to do this while y'all are on camera. So now lay some paint down first, and then push it to the edge. I had so much fun today with picking out the some of the stuff that was gonna go for sale in here in the tiny shop. And yes, if you're just tuning in, this will be a little tiny shop. We will be using at vendor markets. So, and this is an IKEA dollhouse that I purchased Saturday off of Marketplace. It's always fun to be able to save it from being thrown away. It's in perfect, well, near the perfect condition. And it's not going to go in a landfill. And helping someone else. Maybe they need a little extra money or whatever. So nice to do that. So let me try to get in on this side. And what I'm doing is I'm putting in the paint about a 1/4 inch away from the side. And I'm putting in a row of paint. And then I'm going to take that paint and push it to the edge. And just take it and the brush. It makes that noise. Helps it fit to the very edge. Over here. And then pull it towards the middle. Pulling it down. And Did I touch the wall? I touched the wall. Of course I did. It's not easy getting in this little tiny space right now. And the brush is longer than this is. So it's not the easiest spot to paint. So if you are watching, would you want to do a project like this? Is this inspiring you to create something extra special like this? Or just to do something around your house, your big house? Projects. We have several projects going on in our house currently. So, really, I might need to get a short brush or cut the handle off of this brush. Make it shorter. I think the first coat's okay with that. But I do have a touch of paint left here. See if there's somewhere, maybe right here. And paint it thicker. Ceiling is basically done. For the first coat. Oh no, this is really exciting. And you might be asking, well, why aren't you going this way? Well, the grain of the wood is in this direction. It just will look better if it's in the same grain of the wood. You want to keep it all consistent all the way across. I don't think that I'm going to be able to get the light fixtures done in this before tomorrow. That means that I get to work on it some more. So we'll have to do a lighting installation at different day. Let me grab a water cup to rinse my brush. Grabbed a couple water cups. I have to still pack the boxes up for the event. I do keep a jug of water down here to clean my brushes because we don't have a sink here in our studio. So I have a jug of water that I use, and then I take in water upstairs. Always remember to clean your brushes. Also, let's not forget to clean the edge before it dries. Clean this brush out. Paper towels or napkins here to dry off the brushes. Oh, I should not have leaned over like that. Not a good idea. It's still got a lot of paint in it. I might need 2 water cups. Sometimes I do that, especially I do this multiple water cups when I do watercolor. These were little containers from some creme brulee that we got from Costco. These little glass containers are pretty awesome. They're small, they're short. Gives you just enough water to clean up. And if you're doing watercolor, it's really good because you can have just the right amount of water. Alright. The brush is clean. Whoa! Don't spill the water. Okay. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to look and see where I know I touched the walls and some. Oh, yeah, I just touched the ceiling. That's alright. We're gonna do another coat. So it is drying way slower than I expected. I am able to take off this paint that I did on the very first level. Alright. Let's flip it over and take a look at the walls. Make sure we got space. It is not Alright. Ready. Like, just painting that white looks so much nicer, I think. We are going to be painting this section purple. This section is touch this. This section's going to be the sea glass, kind of like a mint green. This section down here is going to be pink, and this section here, I didn't really pick a color for this room. This is the patisserie or boulangerie. It's the bakery, basically. I think it sounds so much better when you say it's a French bakery. So this is where I'm in debate what color. I might not paint in here. We'll find out. That's the last room we're gonna do. Of course, it's the room that's closest to me. But anyway, we're going to do. I do have several paper plates here. I normally use recyclable palettes, but for this one, I'm using paper plates. For one, I'm going to do a separate color for every palette. So we're going to paint this one first, or this one. This one's less to paint, but I do need to decide where this middle wall, where the stopping point is, and maybe, let me see, let me pull over something. Maybe I need to use these. I get in here. So these are my, and plus, well, these are my rulers. These actually have to go back to school. Should put that with school stuff. I'm not going to take these yet. These are my sticks. And they are different kinds of dowels and planks. So if I want to take and decide where this wall is in here, first I need to cut it to the same size as this. Let me go get, I have a special cutter for this. It's called an easy cutter. So, if you are working with wood and with tiny things, this cutting crazy chomping device is amazing. It does have measurements and angles that you can cut, which is really good because we do need to cut an angle there. The plan is to put a divider wall, not necessarily a divider wall. What I want to say, like a little division between the tiny door room and the bookcase accessory room. But that's it. I'm just gonna go and make a little mark on the bottom here. And ready? I am going to, this side will be cut flat. I'm gonna do this kind of backwards. Let me make the camera down. So I have my measurement. I'm actually going to find my straight line. You can go all the way to that. And ready? With one hand, you can snap wood just like that. So if you have little kids and you work with popsicle sticks, I don't have a popsicle stick in here, but I have like these bamboo sticks, little pieces. You can take these. I'm going to go ahead and cut a 45-degree angle on it. Lay it on the edge. Here and here, you have 45-degree angles. And just lay it in there and give it a good squeeze. 45-degree angle. Isn't that the coolest thing? I don't think that the roof is not 45 degrees. So what angle is the roof? If I take a dowel, so this is how you can check your roof angle. And all the power inside the room. You can put your dowel like this. I'm going to do this backwards. Maybe I will do this with my left hand. I'm going to be ambidextrous here for a moment. And to get the right angle of the roof, you just want to line this up. And on the back side, run your pencil across it. This is the angle. So this, can you see that pencil mark? So I'm going to find that angle on the cutter, which is, let's see, almost, good thing I did not just kill myself with a piece of wood. So I need to figure out, we know it's not 45 degree, but I think it's going to be a 60-degree angle cut. And you line it up with the line of 60 degrees on the cutter, which is here. And we snap that one off. This should be the angle of the roof. You know, see it? So we got the angle. So it is 60 degrees. So with this, which I cut already and cut it wrong, that was really silly. Maybe I should use a ruler when all else fails. Use a ruler. I'm going to use metrics to do this. I have been using metrics recently, working with a woodcutter. So we're going to look at 27 and a half. I have to give a little room for that. So I'm going to say 27 and a half centimeters. Well, let me get another piece of wood. And I'm going to measure it here for 27. Make sure it's lined up here. 27 and a half, and a little bit, make a mark. So we cut too much off the other. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that off at a 60-degree angle. So you're going to put your pencil mark at the lowest point of your angle, on where the blade's going to meet. And then put it in and cut the angle. And that should be the angle of the roof. And when we put this in here, when we line it up, we can do this also. Put another board here and find the exact spot where the wall meets this door. Like, how are you gonna stick that on there? Glue. Glue it on. So that is pretty much exactly where the back border of this room is. It's just gonna make it look like it's a separate room there. So let me place this here. I am gonna make a little mark off the wall, so I know that's where that's gonna go. And I'm gonna glue it on. Is my glue? So on this side of the desk, over there, I have all of my glue and supplies like that. Hopefully there's enough glue in the spot. It's not going to take a lot. This is tacky glue. It is what we use for our projects. And we also use a glue called Well Bond. Very good glue as well. Nearly the equivalent of E6000. Just so and so gotta decide which side is it going to include on. So it's going to be this side. This side gets glued. Camera back some. And I tend to have little sticks here to help apply glue. This is just a toothpick. Finger that way. So I'm just going to dab the tacky glue on all the way to the top and place it here too on the very top of that angle cut that we did. And just put glue. Now can you just squeeze glue on here? Yeah. But sometimes it's just better to put it on with another stick. Just use a toothpick. It's a cocktail stick. So right there, remember the commercials? We used to laugh at that commercial so hard. Like Gordon Ramsay, so I'm gonna use a cocktail stick. Or what was it? It was the lady in the commercial. It's really funny. Use a cocktail stick. That's what we're using. We're using a cocktail stick. Also known as a tooth. So we're just gonna smooth this out and doing a nice even coat. We'll get to just enough. A nice even coat of this glue on here will help prevent called glue ooze, where you put two things together and all the glue oozes out the side. We do a nice even coat. You will prevent getting a lot of glue-oos. Just say no to glue-oos. Alright. I made my mark on the wall. I'm gonna place this wooden beam. Let's see if you guys can see me do it. So basically I'm putting an edge here. And gonna line it up. It should fit perfect with the roof. That. And just for the sake of, hey, we're building stuff. Hold on, I have something. Rights. I have a level. So if we want to make sure it's level, you can put a little level in here. And that's almost level, guys. That's funny. How much fun is that? We leveled it, we measured it, well, we cut it, we measured it. And now we're gluing it. Now, the one thing I did notice is that there is a little gap between the top wall, like where is this? It's a tiny gap there. I'm not going to be overly concerned about that. As long as this sticks on here, I will be happy. Just going to keep pressing it for a little bit. I don't have clamps that are going to clamp this because it's right in the middle. So I just want to do that. So how far off are we compared to the way we measured before? It still says we're off. Oh, we're off. We're off a little. Alright, hold on. I mean, I don't think that the building inspector's gonna check everything in this little house. And it's still okay, I guess. It's pretty good. I think that's fine. Okay? Like I said, building inspector is not going to come and test everything on here. So I have that done. I do have this now. I wanted to build out a little edge to this room, but I don't want to do that. But that's fine. Use it for another project. Stick it back in the wood. That. The ruler there. The ruler has to go back to the school. So after the semester, I take the supplies home and have to re-inventory and such. So yesterday, I took a bunch of supplies back. And I did not take the rulers. So this tool, I found this one on Temu, I think. Crazy, right? You can also find them all over. It's called Easy Cutter. This one is. And we use this a lot. A lot. I'm gonna actually put it in the wood container. Alright. Now we can start painting. That's right. And what color was paint? Oh, we're gonna paint it this. What was this one called? Sea glass, I think. Yeah, beach glass. That's it. Hey, this one. Now this paint is not your normal paint. So this is gonna be interesting. It is a soft gel watercolor acrylic paint. It's a little bit different. It has a different consistency when it comes out. It looks like foam. It's very crazy. Very crazy. Um, I do kind of want to tape off the floor, but let me see if I have some tape. Well, well, well. Of course. I have masking tape. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I had to go get it out of this bag. This is my on the go art bag. Um, as we were plein air painting the other day, um, the masking tape was back here. There's a lot of supplies in it, actually. Okay. So let's go ahead and tape off some of this. Tape off the floor. Just like with painting your regular house, you can tape off the same way. And I am planning to do something fun for the floors in this little house, but not today. If you are tuning in, I guess I can. Artsy stuff. Just taking on the floor. Because I do rather want to have it not be on the floor at this point. This is probably not the best tape to use for this, but I don't know where the blue tape is. This is the tape I use for when I do water. Just taping it up. Probably should have just done this in the first place. It's just as difficult to tape off a floor in a tiny house as it is tape off stuff in a regular house. So this, I'm using this clay tool, but it has a little knife blade cutting off the edge back there in the back. Should have done this earlier. But here we are. Take my fourth. Okay. The ceiling is basically dry, so that's good. Well, we might as well tape the bottom where I'm not going to paint this red. I think I'm going to make it look like a French bakery in that room. I have to do a little bit more work in that one, so it's just going to be for tomorrow. Maybe by doing the taping, it will go a little faster to put this. Hey, it's across the back, which is this width. Trying to get inside this floor to the wall with some tiny tags. It isn't love a challenge. Like that, a challenge every once in a while. It's better. I just sat down. I don't need those. I just want to. The really pointy side. Okay. Right. Oh my gosh, that was a challenge, but it's done. Taping's done. So now, let's try to get this paint in here. So we are painting the entire room, all 3 walls, but not the floor. What time is it? Oh, it's 10:37. Something awful going on. If you are tuning in just now, or if you're watching this on a replay, thanks. This is a little bit of a crazy time to start this project. Oh, the color is so good. I'm gonna take it right to the edge. And it might spill over the edge, but I'll wipe it off with a wipe. Can you guys see the color? Get in here and take a look at that. Look at how cute this color is. Oh. For the sake of this event is tomorrow, I might just do one coat. It's not going to be perfect for tomorrow anyway. Oh, I did decide today I also did some experimenting with raising the tiny shop up to eye level. So the one thing that I really like about actually working on this right here, it is at eye level so I can see everything. And in fact, what I've decided to do is it will be a little bit above, higher than this at events. So it'll be a lot easier to be able to see in the bottom floor what's in there. Just cutting it in the top. Doing that same method to put the paint there and just inching it up and pull it down. And then the same thing down here and just pushing it on, pulling it up. And that easy, we have a beach glass colored. Whoa! Oh my gosh, I think that the products that are going in here are just gonna look so much better on a wall this color than the way it was. I do like the natural bleached out wood look on it, but I just think that it should have some color in it. Especially because it's the tiny shop. I just got paint on the floor. Slow down. So, love it. Love this color. Just gonna take and wipe off the outside edge. Once, fold this over, and do it again. Just gonna get that off the edge. Could have taped this too. Yeah. Did I? Apparently not. Okay. And just lightly paint it again. And definitely not go on the outside edge. Okay. Yes, it should have a second coat. If I get time, I'll do that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get time to do a second coat. Let's do, instead of me moving it like in an awkward position, do it this way and place you guys where you can see it better. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I put it on its side. I will not be painting the outside of this yet. Oh, look, the whole taping job just fell. So I'm painting this wall now. this green. Then I start to the back first. Make a line of paint. Thick line first, and then inch it up. Now I see why so many people were using vinyl. It's okay if it gets on here, because we are painting this back wall the same color. So now I know why vinyl is so much more fun to put in here. For one, you can make wallpaper. And for two, it would be easier than painting this 2 coats, maybe 3. Edge, 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 edge. I thought about doing some kind of crazy, like, graffiti wall look, but that would have required me to actually take it apart and do some really funky, crazy, cool stuff on it. But, we're trying to keep it simple. It's not about the crazy, funky walls. Maybe eventually I will change it. Right now, I just want it to be simple, fresh colors. Kind of a nice coastal vibe, since we live here on the coast. What better color than beach glass to go on this wall? All right. It's funny because this day last week, I was actually painting a real gallery. I was painting a real gallery space. An adult human-sized gallery. So it's kind of funny that I'm painting another gallery today, a week later. Alright, let's do the back wall. I forgot to touch the paint. Should have put like little tiny wet paints. Like the tape. Sorry. This doesn't want to stick. Not the best tape in the world. I'll do what it needs to do for the most part. So now we're bringing it here. I'm going to paint this section here. Must be pretty boring watching me paint. Must be incredibly boring. It's a fun little phrase. Just touched it. My husband sent me a video one time when he hadn't moved here yet. He was painting. He'd seen a video of him painting. He goes, "This must be incredibly boring." This is gonna be not the easiest to paint. It's super smooth. I did sand it. It is not wanting to do what I wanted to do. Maybe I need to do a cross motions to this back section. There's a hole on each side. Maybe it's meant to be hung up. I'm not sure. I should go on the IKEA website and see. And I think that it's, the holes are there for hanging it up. But I'm kind of happy they're there because I will be using those holes as part of the lighting system I'm putting in. So I'm kind of happy they're there. Just going across here, I'm going horizontal right now. I told myself I wasn't going to paint any of this horizontal, but there's no wood grain here. So we'll paint it horizontal first, and then I'll paint it vertical. I can get in here better when it's horizontal anyway. Look at how pretty that is. So much better. Do you think? And look at the product. When you put this in here, you can see it, really see it now. It stands out. Especially this top things. When you take and put this in there, look at that. It just works. Love it. Now I am gonna paint the beam. I thought about not painting this beam, but I already touched it with the paint. So I added and I gotta paint that back wall at the top. And eventually I thought about putting a loft in or an attic space to have like the bargain attic. Like in New York, Macy's has the bargain basement. I thought about making the bargain attic and then make it where we have our sale items in there. Probably should use a different brush to get up in that corner. Or just lay this down. I'd do that. Oh gosh. Just say it's made to last. For sure. I don't even know if you guys can even see that because my arm might be in the way. But it is lending itself to be a little bit easier to paint with it laying down. Need to cut into ceiling. Oops, I went over to the other room. The other room's walls are going to be darker. That's why I chose to do this one first. I touch the walls that are supposed to be for the other room. The other paint color will cover it. Like I said, everything's going to need a second coat. And that's a good thing. But for tomorrow, it's only going to have one coat. Then I'll do it again before the next event. I'm just going to go over the wood beam that we put in. Just lightly. I don't want it to be super. I want to have a little bit of rustic beams. Maybe not. I just got some thick paint in there. I thought about putting wood beams. I love the look of wood beams on a ceiling. I'm not really a big fan of a lot of wood in the house. Okay, with wood floors, but not like wood paneling. Um, then I love the idea of putting wood beams on the ceiling. But I also like it to be painted um, white in between the beams. Okay. Well, I am going to say this is done for this room for now, because if I mess with it anymore, it's just scratched it. If I mess with it anymore, it's gonna be messed up. So that color's done. We're gonna do the purple and the next room here. Clean my brush out. This is pretty weird now. So what I might do is might call it quits for tonight. Broadcast because I have been on here a really long time. If anybody's watching this video all the way to the end on the replay, thank you. Because it has been a long video, and like videos like this, I should just like pre-film and just put them on with a hyperlapse kind of thing. So maybe that's what I'll do with the rest of it. Maybe I'll film it and then hyperlapse it in another broadcast. So anyway, with that being said, I think I'm going to call it quits for the live. I want to say thank you for all the love and the views that we got tonight. If you have not subscribed to our channel, it's Tiny Doors WPB, and we are here on YouTube every day doing a daily vlog. Whether it's projects like this, talking about art business, budgeting, planning, those kinds of things. If that is something you like, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Touch it. And then don't forget, ring the bell for notifications so you know when my lives come out. Because currently, they're not on a set schedule. So just for my schedule's up in the air right now. Maybe after next week it'll be a little bit settled. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Good morning. Very good afternoon. Whatever you might be. All right.